I spent years tearing apart the top funnels from some of the biggest coaches and info sellers in this space. It's what I was even known for on Instagram before people were doing funnel breakdowns. From painstakingly tracing every step that a stranger would go through to flow into dollar signs to a coach's pocket, one thing became obvious as I dissected all of these funnels. It's that most funnels are just mechanical machines. They're all designed to collect a lead and move them to a call. But the real life blood to any funnel, any ecosystem, or some magical thing that somebody's trying to sell you isn't the step-by-step flow of turning that stranger into a lead and then into a buyer. It's an invisible funnel that operates beneath everything. A psychological funnel, one that's built on persuasion principles older than the internet itself. The exact missing element to why you create a funnel and no leads come in, or you run ads and waste money, or you create YouTube videos and get 0 book calls. These are persuasion principles that you need within the funnel that has been used by the greatest propagandists of the 1900s, the marketers who create these propaganda for wars. These techniques even convinced women that smoking was cool, and they brought politicians into power. In this last year, I've been refining this invisible funnel when it comes to my clients, perfecting it, modernizing it, turning small counts like these into large profits without even needing to go viral. So in this video, I'll be revealing these invisible elements that make any funnel work and what you might just be missing. The first element is a belief system, and this originally stemmed from Edward Bernays, which is a nephew of Sigmund Freud. Yes, the Freud who developed these psychological techniques to help people overcome anxiety, depression, and other mental illnesses. His nephew, Bernays, took these psychological tools and used them for the business world. He figured out how to mass manipulate markets and implant ideas. He used this to get support for wars. He got women to smoke and politicians into power. He called this engineering consent. It was the art of getting people to agree with you by shaping their ideas, emotions, and the beliefs they hold before they make a decision. Instead of pushing you to say yes, you engineer these beliefs that make yes feel obvious. So what was Edward's process for developing this out? Well, number one, he would start off by shaping the market's worldview, and then he would present a new way of seeing their problems. Third, he would create a solution that would make it feel like an obvious and logical next step. And then four, he would let the people arrive to the conclusion themselves. So people would end up saying yes to these propaganda campaigns essentially because it didn't feel like anything was being pushed onto them or sold onto them. And if that doesn't make any sense, I'll explain more of how this works for you today. But to be honest with you, I'm not the only one who has discovered and is currently using these psychological persuasion tactics. While you've been focused on finding the perfect funnel or the perfect system, the legends in this space have been using this to engineer beliefs into their offers. The godfather of info, Russell Brunson, has used these exact techniques to sell over $3 million in a single day. Hormozi weaved these persuasion tactics into his webinar where he did over 100 million in a single weekend. They were never focused on the system that was the best at collecting leads. They were focused on being the best at manipulating the masses by using language that would shape your desires, wants, needs, fears, curiosities, and ultimately lead to the sale. I have been taking these principles that the greats have been using and the ancient propaganda artists have been using and implemented them throughout my funnels and my content. And I developed out my own version of this, a messaging system specifically designed for coaches to hit their first 20K to 100K a month. And it's belief systems. So here's the truth on why this works and how it works. We've always been told to promote the endpoint, make more money, get in shape, have better relationships. These offers and messaging tactics has worked in the rise of the info era because talking about making more money and getting to that end goal or getting in better shape was never really heard before on social media. But today, everybody knows the destinations, everybody knows the promises, and everybody has testimonials. So making these promises are essentially making you a commodity. Your audience simply doesn't want another promise. They just want a better, faster, newer, and more guaranteed way, aka a better vehicle to get to the destination. So a step-by-step pathway that is built off of your journey that will inevitably work for them. And this is ultimately what you call your unique mechanism. So what the smartest coaches do, the ones that actually make any funnel work, they sell the belief in the vehicle first. The core essence of Brené's consent engineering was shifting somebody's beliefs. Because the reason why you take action and invest into anything, because you believe it will help you get closer to your goals and closer to status. So if you can create a messaging system that properly changes your market's thoughts into why your vehicle is going to get them to their destination, this is where you stop pitching, hard selling, and battling the algorithm. So creating a belief system is when you engineer your messaging to break the limiting beliefs of what your audience thinks is going to get them to their goals. You shift their mind into your vehicle, and you handle any skepticism or objections through your messaging. So here's the final takeaway on really how to start crafting this belief system. So if you end up selling a promise like I can help you achieve X in Y time frame, then you're doing it wrong. You're just gonna be a commodity. But building belief in your vehicle is how you position yourself as premium. If you can systematically belief shift into how your vehicle is better, create an argument for why it's faster, and make your audience believe it's the best pathway to seeing success, you don't ever need to sell your offer. People just start saying yes. The second invisible element is identity-based connection. Every funnel works the same. You get attention, you nurture, and then you present your offer. You create this attention either through ads or organic. This is then where you end up getting them to the middle of the funnel where you nurture and educate. And at this stage, in the middle, this is where people believe that nurturing is by shelling out testimonials or presenting how-tos. And then you're expecting somebody to convert within 90 days. And just from that, you're expecting for somebody to convert within 30 to 90 days because you're now the so-called expert. But the middle of funnel, the thing that really causes conversions that everybody misses is the connection piece. You don't become worthy of investing into because you just gave some tips that anyone else can do. And you can't teach your way to trust in sales anymore. Everybody is doing this. You're playing a loser's game of who can be the quickest person of bringing new value or new sets of information to the market, to then only have those ideas stolen by thousands of other people. And I had to learn this the hard way. I created videos where I was dissecting the funnels of the top coaches and info sellers. I gave everybody the step-by-step how-tos to build their own funnels. I got millions of views, a lot of recognition, but very cold leads. People saw that I was smart, but they didn't relate to me. From this, every lead felt like it was a battle to bring on board. And then the few people that did come in, they didn't end up turning into the best clients. We weren't aligned with my values, my style, or worldviews of how to be successful. They ended up resisting the process and then they dropped out. The point is, teaching only creates intellectual trust, but it does not create emotional trust. Your middle funnel shouldn't just be nurturing with information or telling people how much of an authority you are. You should be nurturing through identity. The biggest shift for me in realizing this is when I ended up investing into a mentor because he played Minecraft with his wife. Something about that just hit me. I felt like he had the identity I wanted because me and my fiance play Minecraft as well, and there was a connection. And that one identity moment built more trust than any value video could have ever done. This is the difference between creating content for your dream client versus your dream follower. Dream client content is ice cold. You're talking about pain points, you're trying to handle objections, and you're teaching the mechanics of your offer. Attracting your dream follower is different. This is somebody that you can actually spend time with as a friend and who appreciates your way of thinking. This is magnetic content, and you do this by talking about your values, beliefs, missions, lifestyle, but where you may have messed up in life and how you got back on that horse. It attracts people who feel like you are them, but with results. Premium buyers don't want a distant authority figure. They want to see the future identity leading the way. And this also makes me think of Layla Hormozi. I feel like I never really started to respect her more when she started to share her struggles in doing this business with Alex Hormozi and how she overcame those. I felt more connected and more willing to get information from her. And I believe this connection piece is the key element to growing a happy and peaceful coaching business. For me, this connection piece is showing what I stand for. I don't want this party lifestyle of doing business or having to travel and go to Bali and rent a penthouse with 6 other people who are selling the same thing. I care about building a business that supports me, my lifestyle, and the family that I am trying to grow. So I call all this the connection element, brand identity. It's showing the good parts, the bad parts, the hard parts, the best parts, and ultimately that identity that your client wants. When you do this, you create 3 things. 1, relatability. 2, trust. And then 3, hope. So begin to build out your brand identity. You'll be surprised at the amazing individuals that you attract and you can help from that. The last individual element is leadership, which might be the most important one. All these are important, but you can sell your program just based off of this alone. Nobody invests into the person that has a great offer but is uncertain that they can deliver upon it. This uncertainty bleeds through your marketing, but most of us have a complete misconception of what leadership is. You might try to mimic Hormozi with his tone or how great he is when it comes to information or his work-life habits and how much of a hustler he is, or you might be a Andy Elliott figure where you're like a drill sergeant. This isn't what leadership or authority looks like for you. Leadership is just much simpler. It's shown, not told. The moment that you switch a part of your funnel from marketing to showing is the moment that you automatically position yourself as a true leader and a true authority figure. A king earns respect when he enters the battlefield, not when he is hiding behind the throne. When you switch from telling people how great and smart you are, which is how-to content, to showing what you're actively doing, what you're building, how you're helping people, and how you're even molding the people inside your program to be a leader themselves, you become unquestionable. You are demonstrating that your method works. So for me, what leadership looks like is having a healthy business and a healthy relationship, showing the community and the amazing individuals that I'm bringing into the community. And it's also showing the enemies that I'm facing in real time and how I'm overcoming them and how you can too. And if you're watching this and you're in a mentorship and you're not getting any results, it's because the mentor you chose to listen to isn't aligned with their actions and their beliefs. They're telling you to do one thing in their program while they don't even do it themselves. So for you too, everything has to align. And people only invest into leaders who can guide them towards the actual destination. And the more that you can show that you live exactly what your offer preaches, the more you indoctrinate your audience into believing into you. And this isn't about flexing or going to Bali or whatever. It's about being real. To give you a concrete example on this, if you are a sales coach, the best thing that you can do is show that you know how to live out your offer, which is selling people. So you need to show that you are good at selling people. Not that you're good at giving people information on how to sell, but that you can sell yourself. That is how you build leadership through content. Okay, and these are some of the invisible elements that you have to be implementing into your funnel. It might just actually unlock the reason why you can't scale. Because the truth is, if people believed in you, your conviction, your method, and you were a true leader, sales will come easy. Nothing will feel forced. Your marketing starts working, your ads start printing, and your clients also start winning. Go ahead, use the ancient tactics of building belief, use the methods of creating connection, and do everything you can to make yourself a leader online.